What is the most important reason for performing a pre-trip inspection? To ensure the vehicle is safe to operate. A thorough check catches defects before they become hazards. Inspected and safe? Let's roll. How many reflective triangles must you carry in your vehicle for emergencies? 3. 3 triangles warn approaching traffic in all directions. Triangled up, keep going. What is the minimum tread depth for front tires on a commercial vehicle? 430 tough inch. Adequate tread maintains steering and braking grip. Tread set, proceed. What is hydroplaning and what should you do if it occurs? When tires lose contact with the road due to water, release accelerator, steer straight, and do not brake hard. Smooth control restores traction safely. Hydroplaning handled, move on. When driving, how far ahead should you look? At least 12 to 15 seconds ahead. Scanning early lets you spot hazards in time. Eyes forward, continue. What does it mean if your vehicle's air pressure warning light comes on? Your air pressure has dropped below 60 psi. Low pressure jeopardizes brake effectiveness. Stop and check. Air low, onward. What is the purpose of ABS, anti-lock braking system, on a commercial vehicle? Helps you maintain steering control during hard braking by preventing wheel lockup. ABS lets you brake hard without losing direction. ABS engaged? Keep going. What is the proper way to check if your service brakes are working? Go about 5 miles per hour, push the brake pedal firmly, and check that the vehicle does not pull to one side. Consistent braking ensures even brake pad performance. Brakes balanced. Move out. What is the legal blood alcohol concentration BAC limit for a CDL holder operating a CMV? 0.04%. Lower limit protects public safety for large vehicles. BAC clear. Onward. What is the maximum allowable play in the steering wheel of a large commercial vehicle? No more than 10 degrees, about 2 inches on a 20-inch wheel. Minimal slack keeps steering precise. Steering tight? Let's roll. What is the purpose of the engine cutoff switch on a commercial vehicle? To immediately shut off the engine in an emergency. Quick shutdown prevents further damage or fire. Engine off, continue. What is the best way to deal with distractions while driving? Focus on the road. Avoid multitasking and pull over if necessary. One task, safe driving is all that matters. Eyes on road, move on. What is aggressive driving? Operating a vehicle in a selfish, bold, or pushy manner without regard for others' rights or safety. Courtesy and patience keep everyone safer. Cool driving? Next. What is road rage? Operating a vehicle with intent to do harm to others or physically assault them. Hostility behind the wheel endangers everyone. Calm maintained. Onward. When should you use your headlights? At dusk, dawn, in bad weather, or whenever visibility is reduced. Lights make you seen and help you see. Lights on. Keep going. What should you do if your vehicle's brakes suddenly fail? Downshift. Use the parking brakes slowly and carefully and find an escape ramp if available. Engine braking and parking brakes slow you when service brakes lose power. Brakes failed. Move on. What is the importance of increasing your following distance in bad weather to allow more time and space to react to hazards? Wet roads, double stopping distance. Give extra room. Distance safe. Continue. What is the correct way to use turn signals? Every time you plan to change direction or lanes, signals communicate your intentions clearly to others. Signal on. Let's roll. What is the most important reason for wearing a seat belt in a CMV? To protect you from injury in a crash. Belts keep you secure when collision forces hit. Belt buckled. Move out. What is the purpose of blocking and bracing cargo? To prevent cargo from shifting in transit. Stationary loads keep vehicle balance stable. Cargo fixed onward. What is the danger of driving with worn tires? Reduced traction, especially in wet conditions, leading to instability. Fresh treads cut through water and grip pavement. Tires checked? Continue. What should you do if you're being tailgated by another vehicle? Increase your following distance and create more space ahead. Extra room lets you slow gradually without risk. Gap created. Move on. What is the main cause of commercial vehicle rollovers? Driving too fast on curves or taking turns too sharply. Slow entry and steady speed defeat high center risks. Curve conquered? Onward. What is the proper procedure for backing a CMV? Use mirrors, use a spotter, and back slowly and carefully. Two-person teamwork, avoid surprises. Back safe? Next. What is the importance of knowing your vehicle's gross vehicle weight rating, GVWR, to ensure you do not exceed the maximum operating weight specified by the manufacturer? Overweight stresses brakes, suspension, and steering. Weight-wise, carry on. What is the proper technique for shifting gears in a manual transmission CMV? Double clutching or using synchronized gears properly. Smooth shifts preserve transmission health. Gears synced. Move forward. What is the minimum tread depth for all tires other than front tires? 230 TEF-inch. Rears need just enough tread for basic traction. Tread okay. Continue. What should you do if your tires start to lose traction on a slippery road? Ease off the accelerator, hold the steering wheel firmly, and avoid sudden movements. Calm inputs regain grip without surprises. Traction found onward. What is the danger of transporting cargo with a high center of gravity? Increased risk of rollover, especially on turns. Heavy top loads need slower maneuvers. Load stable. Move on. What is the minimum distance you should stop from the nearest rail of a railroad crossing? At least 15 feet and no more than 50 feet. Safe buffer keeps you clear of oncoming trains. Stop set. Continue. When driving, what should you do if you hear a thump indicating a tire problem? Pull over safely and inspect your tires. Immediate inspection prevents blowouts. Check done. Move on. What is the best way to slow down a CMV on a downgrade? Use a low gear and engine braking, supplementing with light, intermittent service brake applications. Engine braking saves your brakes from overheating. Grade handled, onward. What is the purpose of reflective tape on the sides and rear of CMVs? To increase visibility of the vehicle at night or in low light conditions. Tape outlines your vehicle silhouette for others. Reflections set. Continue. What is the proper use of a fire extinguisher on a vehicle fire? Aim at the base of the fire, sweep from side to side. Targeting the fuel source puts flames out fast. Flame out, move on. What is the danger of carrying a load that is not balanced properly? It can affect steering, braking, and cause instability or rollover. Even weight distribution keeps control predictable. Balance secured, onward. What is the primary cause of traffic accidents involving CMVs? Driver error, e.g. speeding, distraction, fatigue. Safe habits and focus cut crash risk. Errors avoided, carry on. What should you do if you are about to hit an object or vehicle? Steer, if possible, or brake firmly in a straight line. Straight braking keeps you stable. Evasive steer if safe. Collision avoided, continue. When are you required to complete a written inspection report for your vehicle? At the end of each day's driving. Daily logs catch issues before the next shift. Report done, move out. What does controlled braking involve? Applying the brakes as hard as possible without locking the wheels. Max stopping power while retaining steering control. Brakes controlled, onward. What is the purpose of the supply pressure gauge in an air brake system? It shows how much air pressure is in the air tanks. Monitoring pressure prevents unexpected brake loss. Pressure checked. Continue. What is the procedure for checking that your parking brake works? Set the parking brake and gently pull against it in a low gear. A firm hold confirms spring brakes are functional. Park brake held, move on. How often should you check your mirrors while driving? Continuously, as part of your general driving habits. Regular glances keep you aware of surrounding traffic. Mirrors clear. Continue. What should you do if you become sleepy while driving? Pull over and rest or take a nap. Rested drivers handle emergencies better. Rest taken. Carry on. What does a no zone refer to for large trucks? The blind spots around the truck where a car cannot be seen by the driver. Stay visible in the driver's mirror zones. No zone avoided. Move on. What is the purpose of placards on a vehicle? To identify the hazard class of the cargo being transported. Placards warn responders and public of dangers. Placards up, onward. What must you do if your vision is obscured by a blind spot? Turn your head and use your mirrors to see properly. Physically check can eliminate hidden hazards. Blind gone. Continue. What is the most important thing to remember about braking in a CMV? It takes much longer to stop a CMV than a car. Plan stops well in advance. Stopping distance honored. Move on. What is the best way to handle a vehicle fire? Pull over to a safe area, activate emergency flashers, call for help, and use an extinguisher if trained and safe. Safety first. Fight fire only if you can do so safely. Fire fought. Continue. What should you do if you are involved in a traffic accident? Protect the area, notify authorities, and care for the injured. Quick response limits further harm. Scene secure. Move on. What is the danger of overriding the air compressor governor? It can cause too much pressure in the air tanks and lead to a safety valve opening or damage. Proper cut-in, cut-out pressures keep systems safe. Governor respected. Continue. What is the minimum required safe following distance for a CMV traveling at 40 miles per hour? 4 seconds, 1 second per 10 feet of vehicle length. Longer gaps accommodate your size and speed. Gap timed, carry on. What should you do if your accelerator sticks? Shift to neutral, apply brakes, turn off engine when safe. Regaining control stops unintended acceleration. Throttle freed, move on. What does a red dashboard light for oil pressure typically indicate? Low oil pressure, which can cause engine damage. Immediate shutdown prevents engine failure. Oils topped, continue. When descending a long, steep grade, you should select a gear that will keep your vehicle at a safe speed without using the brakes excessively. Gear selection controls speed and preserves brakes. Grade descended, move on. What is the primary function of a pre-trip inspection? To discover defects that could lead to an accident or breakdown. Safety checks save lives and time. Inspection complete, mission accomplished.